welcome back to my channel. This is a terrific day because we are finally at KCKA, which officially means we have a go-kart, an official owner go-kart. We're no longer racing at K1 speed anymore. We're finally outside against owner karts with my own kart. This is monumental. This is exciting. We finally made it out of K1 speed. Let's get right into my testing and tuning. Alrighty, practice session 1. What an amazing practice session. I love it. You love it. We all love practice session 1. As you can see, everybody's turning their engine on, so I do the exact same. Let's have a listen to what happens. The engine turns itself off. My dad tries again. Turns back on, and then it happens again. Now we're gonna play a fun little game. How many times does my engine shut off? We're gonna have a counter going.
Whoa, what's happening? I don't know.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen, my engine cuts out 5 times while I'm in the pits. But at the time, we had no clue what was going on. But in a few of these corners, you'll hear the engine wants to die because you can hear it like bogging out and like losing RPMs. So if you just listen for a little bit. There, circle to gain RPMs, and here you'll really be able to hear it. And then in this corner, my engine finally cuts out. You can see my foot trying to press on the throttle, and nothing's happening. My engine just cuts out. We don't know why. So that is the end of practice session 1. We love that, don't we?
Just shut off.
You up, no big deal.
What happened? The engine just shut off. Okay.
Alrighty, so we now know why the engine shut off. So in the morning, we checked the fuel line because the engine was not turning on. So some people helped us out, check the fuel line, and it cut itself. So we cut that end off, put it back on, and then now we checked the fuel line again, and it cut itself again. So it wasn't picking up any fuel. It was running off fumes and a little bit of fuel that it had in the carburetor. So that's why the engine cut out that many times and then brought on track. Luckily though, David Garsh, the president of KCKA, had a spare fuel line that he let me have, which thank you to him. He was a lifesaver. We put that instantly and it worked instantly right after that, and the engine's working fine now. So let's now start off to session 2. Practice session 2. Now this is going to be the last practice session because we were running a bit late to the track to begin with in the morning, but also this is just the last one for the day for L206 seniors. But this was a really fun practice session because I was actually driving. I wasn't worrying about having the engine die on me because we had the new fuel line. But I do spin out a lot in this practice session, mainly because I'm still learning the track, still learning the brakes, still learning the kart. But I also had used tires from the previous owner. They were still good, but they were really only good for just testing and tuning. So right here in this corner, you'll see my first spin out. I just locked up the brakes. You know, I'm still learning the brakes and stuff. The brakes were a tad bit touchy, even though they were really worn down. Alright, so right here you can tell that I'm not going full throttle into this corner, mainly because I'm still learning the track, but also I just did not know at the time, but you can go full throttle, you can flat out that section. Right here, I spin out my second time, I lock up the brakes, I try saving it, and then I lose the cart. Luckily though, we are able to get out of the grass after these guys pass us. You can tell that I'm slipping and sliding into each of these corners because I'm just losing the rear because these tires are used and I already have some bald spots on because of how many times I spun out. Right here, I get into the grass a bit, I spin out. I try letting these guys pass, and for some reason, I stayed on this side even though that's the racing line. I stay on the left side, even though that's the racing line. I get a little bit pushed out there because I'm just not going fast enough, and I felt like a real nuisance here just because I had no clue what I was doing. I don't know the line. Now right here, I spin out because just for some reason the brakes just did not decide to stop me at all. So I spin out and I actually get stuck in the grass. So I have to get out of the cart and push my cart forward. Now it's a little tricky because it's a pretty heavy cart and then also it's in the grass. And I'm tired. Eventually we get it just unstuck enough to where now that I'm hopping, it'll loosen the rear tires and I'm able to get going. Now at the time I didn't know any of the safety briefings because I was late to the track, but eventually at the end, David Garsh, the president, tells me the safety briefings of like holding my hand up when I need to indicate that I am slowing down or I spun out. So now I'm going to leave y'all for a little bit just so you can hear the sound of the practice session, the tires, the engine, all that good stuff. But I'll be back eventually. So now this is the last lap, and you can already hear that my engine's hitting the RPM limiter. That's because I'm running a 15-tooth clutch with a 58-tooth rear sprocket. All we had to do is drop it by 2 teeth to a 56, and then we're good. This guy in front of us, Kart 74, me and him, race weekend, we actually become somewhat friends, I would say. I tried copying his lines during testing and tuning to try to get, faster lap times, and I do pretty well, I'm not gonna lie. So there again, RPM limiter, and this is about my last good lap. I do start slowing down about halfway because it is checkered flag and we start coming in. But I think my lap times, even though I spun out so much, the times I didn't spun out, I think I got around 33 to 34s, which I was told by another one of my friends who I just made there, that those were pretty good lap times for a beginner, which was crazy to me at the time because of just how bad I did, but hey, I'll take it. Alrighty, so now we're going back in the pits, which does unfortunately mean that this is the end of the video. This is the last session. So if you like today's video, please like and subscribe. I will be editing race session 1 and 2. I do apologize for how long it took for this video to come out, but I hope to see y'all in the next one. I can tell you it's going to be a fun one. So I'll see y'all later.